through snow, mud, trails, or even the city. For almost 30 years, it's been a loyal companion for adventurers and everyday heroes around the globe. Its virtues: robust, reliable, and all-wheel driven. The Subaru Forester. In 2025, the 6th edition arrives, and naturally, it's meant to be better than ever.
Subaru is the world's biggest manufacturer of all-wheel drive passenger cars and is seen as a pioneer in this area. Back in 1972, they launched their first AWD passenger car, the Leone station wagon, and since then, they've sold over 22 million 4x4s worldwide, this one included. The Forester is one of Subaru's best sellers, and today, we're hunting down the secret to its success. We'll collect clues throughout our test and reveal them bit by bit. Plus, we'll check its off-road skills, because of course, we want to know if it lives up to Subaru's long tradition.
And naturally, we'll also look at all the updates, testing the new Forester extensively on and off-road near Berlin.
Here we go! Axle articulation, whoa!
We'll also reveal the story behind Subaru's all-wheel drive origins, which Subaru was the first all-wheel drive model in Germany, and more exciting facts about this Japanese 4x4 specialist.
Normally, I just want to hop in and drive. But first, let's quickly check out the looks. Subaru isn't exactly known for bold, progressive design. The last Forester generations were updated very cautiously. But this one shows clear differences. The front, with its new grille and headlights, is almost daring by Subaru standards. The basic shape stayed the same, but the wheel arches are now square instead of round. And at the A and D pillars, there's this break in the line. The Symmetrical All-Wheel Drive badge is now up here, which used to sit at the back. The rear is completely different too. New taillights, a full-width strip, and embossed Forester lettering. I think it looks tidier and more modern. Definitely a good move. That's surely one reason for its success: consistency. The cars always stay true to themselves. They keep evolving steadily, but never excessively, something that appeals to customers who don't want big surprises. But now, let's finally hit the road and see if the good impression continues when driving.
The Forester is powered by a 2-liter e-Boxer mild hybrid. The system was already in the previous model. The 4-cylinder engine is supported by a 12-kilowatt electric motor. The setup has been optimized for dynamics, reliability, and efficiency. In this generation, output is down to 136 horsepower. Previously, it was 150. Subaru hopes that less power means lower fuel consumption. They've done the same with other models, like the Crosstrek, which was formerly called XV. But does that come at the cost of driving fun?
Well, let's put it this way. 136 horsepower in a car, weighing almost 1.7 tons. You can't expect fireworks in acceleration. Although, 1.7 tons isn't that heavy anymore for this class, considering how heavy cars are these days. A bit more power would be nice. I'm not expecting a sports car. Subaru is known more for reliability and steadiness anyway, aside from the BRZ. But honestly, well, it drives really neutral and pleasant. That's something I've noticed in many Subarus I've driven over the years from different generations. Nothing stands out extremely positive, but also nothing negative. Just smooth, neutral, and comfortable. And of course, it scores with off-road skills, something many comparable SUVs can't offer. We'll test that later, and I'm excited about it. Like other Subaru models, it has two drive modes. I, like Intelligent, and S, we're in Intelligent now. Let me switch to Sport. Yeah, that's better. A little more punch. Gives you more driving fun. Still, no acceleration fireworks. But hey, it's fine.
The Forester sits on the Subaru global platform, which has been updated in design and weight. For example, torsional rigidity is up by 10%, which should benefit handling.
What I really like, I have to say, is the suspension. It smooths out every bump beautifully. We even had some pretty bad road sections with potholes and cobblestones, but you hardly get shaken around at all. It's really comfortable. The manufacturer has also reworked and optimized the steering, and I have to say, yes, it responds directly. That definitely fits. For me personally, it's a bit too light, but that's a matter of taste. I prefer something a bit firmer. So, it reacts well, without delay, and transmits every steering input directly. It's definitely well tuned. Together with the improvements in body rigidity, aerodynamics, and of course the suspension, I find its roll behavior really good. In corners, there's no excessive body movement. For its size and class, that's really well done. Another key to the Forester's success is its special engine. Even if 136 horsepower doesn't sound spectacular, Subaru's expertise in boxer engines is undeniable. Since 1966, the company has consistently used this layout and built over 23 million of them. About 1.2 million are sold each year, making Subaru the largest boxer engine manufacturer. Next to Porsche and BMW Motorrad, Subaru is the only major maker using this design, which offers many advantages, like smooth running, low center of gravity, and a flat build. And of course, the engines keep evolving in efficiency and durability. Almost everything here is controlled via this large central touchscreen, something you already know from other models like the Crosstrek. Still, there are a few physical buttons for the most important functions, like temperature or volume, which I really appreciate. Another positive point is the build quality. Of course, everything is functional, but it also gives off a high-quality impression. I really like the design too, especially with this honeycomb pattern. What I personally like a lot as well is this classic display, the analog instruments, speedometer, and rev counter. You hardly see that in modern cars anymore, since everything is usually fully digital. I think that's really cool. It fits perfectly with the Forester's rugged charm and underlines its key strength, reliability.
The new Forester's look has been refreshed. Wider, sharper front, prominent wheel arches, and a tidy rear. Dimension-wise, it's grown slightly in width and length, while height remains the same. Inside, it's typical Subaru. The vertical 12-inch touchscreen also appears in the Crosstrek. The seats are optimized to reduce head movement while driving, for better long-distance comfort. Extra insulation has reduced cabin noise. Cargo volume is 508 to 1,731 liters.
Instead of focusing on unnecessary gimmicks, Subaru prioritizes practicality at a reasonable price without sacrificing a certain level of comfort. For example, we have an electric tailgate here. It was already available on the previous model, but now you can also open it with a foot movement. That feature is optional and available from the second trim level, called Active. It's actually the first time Subaru has offered something like this. There are also a few very practical features. For instance, the rear seats can be folded down easily at the push of a button, creating a nice flat loading surface, something you don't always get. Another great thing, there's no high loading edge or step, which means you can load luggage very comfortably. There are also several hooks here and up there, for example for bags, plus a power outlet. Everything is really well thought out.
Another major factor in the Forester's success are its off-road qualities. We're testing them together with other journalists and instructors at the off-road park at Teltow-Fleming Ring, about 50 kilometers south of Berlin. The 170-hectare site offers everything an off-road heart desires. Before that, we got to talk tech with the manufacturer.
We've prepared different tracks here. Deep mud, sand, steep climbs and descents. Lots of opportunities for the Forester to prove itself. We've got 220 millimeters of ground clearance, permanent all-wheel drive, that's key, and the new X-Mode system. X-Mode has been improved. It now has more sensitive sensors, and even electric support right from standstill, which the predecessor didn't have.
We start with lighter obstacles and gradually increase the difficulty. The instructor gives us constant guidance via radio.
We're starting our first course. Please stay right behind me.
Wow, look at that! Already some axle articulation. But the Forester handles it with ease.
That worked wonderfully right away. We've prepared a small sandbox for you. And it's not perfectly level either. Let's try it this way. Not everyone should drive in the same track, but a bit offset from each other. Then once we're in the middle, we'll stop for a moment, roughly at my position, and then try to start moving again. And that's when you can really see that the Forester's off-road capabilities are truly impressive.
That's really fun.
Okay.
We're crossing a crest now. Please stay far right so we clear it safely. Once the car ahead disappears, the next can start.
Wow, okay. But still totally relaxed so far. Nice.
Actually, as a driver, you don't really have to do much. The systems are active. You just need to activate X-Mode. There are various programs you can choose from depending on the terrain conditions. And once you've pressed the right button, everything pretty much runs on its own.
The Forester's off-road values are far better than most rivals, VW Tiguan, Mazda CX-5, and the like.
Whoa, crazy axle articulation here. But it masters it all. Incredible. Unbelievable. No problems here. That's great.
Another success factor, high safety. For generations, the Forester has achieved top crash test results. The new version is also rated 5 stars. Its systems and cameras are constantly refined. The Forester now comes with 12 new or improved features, including a cross-traffic alert for tricky intersections.
The eyesight system, the stereo camera, is already familiar from the previous model. Now, a mono camera has been added. Previously, the detection range was around 70 degrees, but that's now been doubled to 140 degrees. This is another active contribution to the vehicle's overall safety package. The manufacturer has made it clear that safety is their top priority.
Despite all its reliability, the Forester also has a playful side. The whole car is full of little Easter eggs, small pictograms. For example, in the trunk, there's a tiny telescope or a small camping lamp. You'll find footprints and paw prints on the doors, and even a little hummingbird etched into the window. There's a fun fact about why it's a hummingbird in particular. It's the only bird that can fly backwards. And since the X-Mode off-road system now also works in reverse, that's the connection. All of these details highlight the Forester's outdoor spirit and sense of adventure.
In our off-road test, we're now facing a bigger challenge, a nearly 40-degree downhill slope.
X-Mode is perfect for driving downhill. It's not just that the all-wheel drive system responds more sensitively. It also maintains a steady speed when going downhill. That means I can fully focus on steering without having to constantly brake. The system takes care of that automatically.
Please come over to me. Drive in a small arc. And come up to my level. The others can move up a bit. You'll drive a little way down the hill until I say stop. Then both axles will be on the slope. Then you brake, wait a moment, and when I say go, just release. The vehicle will do exactly what it's supposed to. All right, let's go. A bit to the left. Left, left. Now straight, yes. Slowly. Keep going, further into the hill, and stop, stop, perfect. 1, 2, 3. The 3 seconds are up, now release the brake, perfect. We've got an even bigger hill here, and it's unpaved. So that's probably the biggest challenge here. Going down is relatively easy, but driving up it is really demanding. You shouldn't just have a bit of experience for that. You really need to know how to drive.
And that's exactly what we'll try, in reverse. Because in this 6th generation, X-Mode also works backwards. We don't quite make it to the top, but still impressive.
I'm honestly amazed at what this car can do. As a driver, you hardly need to do anything. It tackles obstacles almost on its own. Of course, the assistants help. X-Mode manages everything, and you always feel safe. Remember, it's still an SUV, not a hardcore off-roader. And yet it takes on every challenge brilliantly. Climbing steep hills backwards, super cool and a lot of fun.
One last question. How did Subaru actually come up with all-wheel drive for passenger cars?
We already mentioned at the beginning that Subaru was one of the pioneers in 4x4 passenger cars, but how did this rather unusual all-wheel drive car actually come about? Up to that point, all-wheel drive was mostly found only in the off-road segment. The trigger was actually a tender from an electric utility company in Japan. They also supplied electricity to the mountainous, snowy region in the north and needed a compact, reliable vehicle for their employees, one that could reach those areas under any weather conditions. That was the starting point for the mass production of the Leon four-wheel drive.
In Germany, the all-wheel drive Subaru arrived in 1981 as the Subaru 1800 four-wheel drive, sedan or wagon with a 1.8-liter boxer engine, 80 horsepower, and selectable all-wheel drive. In the US, there was even a pickup based on the Leon, the bi-drive recreational all-terrain transporter, or BRAT.
There are many reasons why the Forester is so popular, and now, with its refreshed look, it's also visually more modern. Most importantly, it's proven it can really perform off-road, unlike many so-called SUVs, and is always ready for adventure.